I'm Diane. I have been in the industry for 20 years plus, in financial services for a lot longer than that. I've been working in the talking therapy environment for the last 9 years. I've been working with podiatry foot health partnerships for 6.5 years now, learning and understanding the work of podiatrists on a day-to-day basis and looking to ensure that the covers that we provide are adequate and fit for purpose. In the UK, podiatrists need to determine what level of cover they need based on the size of portfolio they're currently working with and what their intentions are to work over the next 12 months. It can change. They will need to consider the types of clients they're working with, where they're working from. Not having the correct level of indemnity in place can result in an individual having to fund part of a claim if sufficient cover isn't in place to cover the allegations that are founded against them. Yes, it is possible to be overinsured. However, it's important that individuals do consider what level of clients they're currently working with, and then from there determine what that level of indemnity looks like. Having an additional level of cover is always better than having less cover in place. Professional indemnity insurance covers you against allegations made in your professional capacity. It's vitally important to do that. Any changes in activities that you're undertaking, it's imperative that you do let your insurers know so that in the event of a claim, you are fully covered. You should make sure that you are qualified to carry out those services and that you have evidence to do so. And then you should be advising your insurers that you are now undertaking this work. Additionally, you may want to consider increasing your levels of indemnity depending on what those new activities look like. The most common claim that we see is definitely fitness to practice. It's one that is commonly presented and can take quite a long time to actually investigate and come to a final findings. Sometimes these claims can take between 3 to 5 years to actually settle. Ensuring that you've got medical records from both the clients and any referring clinician. That's key really, because in the event of a claim you can evidence that you have undertaken all the work prior to undertaking any treatment or activity. Making sure that you've got good hygiene standards is equally important. Keeping abreast of CPD requirements and to ensure that adequate records are kept so that in the event of a claim these can be evidenced. It provides you with legal defence representation from experts who will be able to help and support and advise throughout the claim. Everyone should check their individual policy wordings because they do differ from insurer to insurer, so it's important to make sure that that is actually noted in the policy wording. Absolutely, at the first point where an individual feels that there could be a complaint raised against them, they should notify insurers, even if at that point it's not being received in writing. Retroactive cover is important because it will cover you for claims made against you outside of the current policy that you will have in force. And claims for fitness to practice, for example, can be up to 3 to 5 years ago, so it is important that that continuous cover has been in place. No, unfortunately, retroactive cover doesn't always transfer, so it is important that when you're taking a new policy and changing an insurer, that you check with the insurer and check the policy wording to ensure that that cover is still continuous, so that in the event of a claim, you are still covered. Yes, it is. The NHS generally cover people for state-backed clinical negligence. A podiatrist who is working in an individual capacity should ensure that they have professional indemnity insurance that covers them for their work in this area. That is, that it covers all professional activities, where indeed that's not necessarily the case because it may not cover GMC hearings or court hearing representations. They should ensure that they do have in their private capacity a professional indemnity policy that covers them for their work in this area, as well as the NHS policy, which will cover them for working within the NHS. That the policy covers medical malpractice and that there is sufficient retroactive cover within the policy to cover claims made from previous year's work. It's important that the insurer have an understanding of the issues that foot health podiatrists may face and understand that in order to ensure that an individual gets the right policy at the right level of indemnity for the work they're currently undertaking. Cover should be reviewed either annually or in a change of lifestyle circumstance, such as marriage, birth of a child, change in personal situation, or a change in your work activities. Individuals renewing their policies without actually considering if the levels of cover that they're currently in place are fit for purpose. Have there been any changes in their work in the previous year? Is there any changes planned for the next 12 months? And if so, making sure that the levels of cover that have been purchased or about to be purchased are appropriate for those needs. Make sure you have cover for all the activities that you are currently providing. Make sure that retroactive cover is in place in your policy, and that you have the right levels of indemnity to cover the work you're undertaking. They can certainly refer to their current insurers to ask them to review the policy wording and the schedule that they have, identifying any shortfalls in cover or confirming that actually cover is in place for the work currently being undertaken. Today's video has been very much about information about what you should be considering when you're buying a professional indemnity policy. It's not recommending one specific insurer, but it's signposting you to look at your current requirements or requirements that you may have in the future.